What is going on, guys? This is Ben here, bringing you another Vainglory video. You probably already saw it in the news section, but we got the hero sneak peek for BLACKFEATHER. Now in this video, guys, I'm pretty much just going to go over his abilities. You probably were able to read this yourself if you're really curious. I'm going to give my thoughts, and I also making this because I want to hear what you guys think of him. Maybe good weapon builds for him, or not weapon builds, just any build for him and everything like that. Like I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on him. So I'm excited for this sneak peek. I think this is one of the first actual sneak peeks they gave for a hero that actually has the full abilities list without actually revealing anything about him. So unfortunately, he was not able to come out in update 1.10, so hopefully in update 1.1, so update 1.11, he'll come in. I don't know, I'm pretty excited. I'll give you the rundown of his abilities, give you my thoughts on him and how I think I'll be played. But just looking at him, and I read over his abilities once, so I'm gonna read over them again so I can remember them. But the first initial thought I have, if you guys know what the sword thing where they fake swording, I don't know what the name of it is. Fencing, where people poke at each other. I really feel as though his I don't even know, man. I don't know, his abilities just remind me of that, with the poke damage that it seems like he'll have with his sword and everything like that. But other than that, let's get into my thoughts, and then if you disagree with me, let me know. If you guys have any differing thoughts, let me know as well. But let's get into it. So his heroic, and one other thing too, these abilities may change. It's not set in stone. That's what it says right at the top there. I forgot that. So maybe they'll change something here and there, or the names may change. But his heroic perk is Heartthrob. BLACKFEATHER attacks and applies Heartthrob stacks to enemies. Anytime stacks are added or refreshed, BLACKFEATHER also deals crystal damage for each stack of Heartthrob already on the target. So basically, it might be when he attacks a person or auto attacks someone, they get one stack. Attack again, they get another stack, and then it's probably similar to the Cruel smite stacks. Whenever Cruel auto attacks, he gets one smite stack, and then everything like that. So I don't know how many stacks of Heartthrob you'll be able to get on a hero, because a lot of his abilities depend on how many stacks, or the more stacks you have, the more effective the ability is. And some of them, I think one of them, on point applies a slow, or an added slow for the more Heartthrob stacks you have. So I don't think you'll be able to get a ton of them. I just wanted to address that because I feel as though if you get 10 stacks on a person, that'd be pretty overpowered for the slow on this one. I'll go back to that later though. Then his second part of his heroic perk is he's another hero that doesn't use energy, so kind of like Arden, how they have their own little energy system within them. They don't need a void bat or anything. So I think Arden, Rona, the new Petal, they all have their own little energy system. So this guy's BLACKFEATHER's is called Focus. This is kept at 100 and naturally regenerates. So say you are low, it'll just regen on its own over time. Don't know how fast it'll be, but BLACKFEATHER also recovers an additional 10 focus for each basic attack he lands. I don't know if it'll be on just heroes that he lands or minions. I assume, since it says each basic attack he lands, on minions you'll be able to get your focus back. And it doesn't say anything about it decreasing over time, so I think it only regenerates. So if you're up at 100, you'll be good to go and set for a while. So basically, his first ability, Faint of Heart, BLACKFEATHER lunges to his target and attacks. That's where I was getting the fencing thing, where he lunges with his sword or whatever. Dealing increased attack damage plus 60 crystal power and applying weapon effects. So I believe when it says applying weapon effects, that means that it'll apply the tension bow and aftershock procs. So that's actually pretty strong. So it's similar to when you use the second ability of Arden with a punch, the blood for blood, and it applies the tension bow. So that's pretty sweet, because if that's or even the Vox's basic first ability. So the tension bow, that's a lot of burst damage at once. And for the next 4 seconds, the target leaves a rose trail. BLACKFEATHER and his allies gain movement speed when moving through this trail. When this ability is used against a target with a full Heartthrob stacks, we don't know what the full Heartthrob stacks are, it will execute the target, dealing additional true damage based on the target's missing health. And then if you overdrive this, when you move through the rose path, it doesn't apply, what is it? Removes all blocks and slow. So say when you have Finn's first ability, when it's not overdriven yet, it just slows people. It won't affect them. So no slows. Pretty sure that's pretty self-explanatory. And then if you, I don't really know, or if you kill the target within 0.5 seconds, this will get reset or cooldown. So you get, it seems like it's gonna be good ability for poke damage with the lunge, and then maybe even for chasing. So say they're running away, use Faint of Heart, you just follow the roast trail with all your team, because your entire team gets movement speed and you can't be slowed. So it'd be really good for getting out of sticky, or not getting out of sticky situations, just like keeping up with the heroes. And then let's move on to a second ability. It's called On Point. Blackfeather pierces all enemies in a line, dealing them or damaging them and applying a decaying slow for 1 second. This is where I was talking about the more heartthrob stacks. It might get a little overpowered if you got like 10. I'll go over this a little bit more. But the duration of his slow is increased by 0.3 seconds for each stack of heartthrob on the target. So say he has like 10 stacks. That's 3 seconds extra of a slow, which is quite a bit. So I don't know how many stacks he'll actually be able to have on. Maybe like five stacks. That makes sense because that's 1.5 extra slow. I don't know. Like 10 seems a little bit too much, especially with up at Faint of Heart. Like I don't know. In my like just my thought, I don't think you'll be able to get that many heartthrob stacks on a hero. If this hits at least one enemy hero, Blackfeather also gains a barrier that scales with 15% of his bonus health and recovers 35 focus. So it was On Point. He gains a barrier. It does AoE damage because if they're all on a line, it can pierce through all of them, and then he gets some of his focus back to maybe be able to use Faint of Heart again, or even I'll get to his ultimate later. And the amount of focus recovered is further increased with 2%. That's just a bunch of numbers. If you overdrive this, On Point gains increased range, so that's good poke damage as well. Maybe with Crystal Power, he might be able to do pretty bursty damage, a lot of area of effect. But his Rose Offense, his ultimate, Blackfeather cuts through his opponents, landing basic attacks on all enemies along his path. During the dash, Blackfeather is immune to negative effects. I don't really know what negative effects mean, maybe like debuffs and slows. I don't know if that applies to stuns and everything, and takes greatly reduced damage. This ability has 2 charges. So when it says this ability has 2 charges, that means probably like, you know how when you activate Rona's Foe Splitter, you can use it once and then use it again within that same cooldown. So I'm sure that's what that means. But the big part is Blackfeather cuts through his opponent, landing basic attacks. So this probably doesn't have any crystal scaling because it's all basic attacks. The more weapon power you have, the more my nose is like running, guys. Sorry if I keep touching my face. But yeah, so landing basic attacks. What that means is his ultimate, he probably just goes like boom, 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 or he probably doesn't have a gun. He's probably, I think it's just a sword, right? Unless that's like a, I don't know what it's called. It's not the bolt action, but like the where you snap it down. Doesn't it kind of look like that if it was like a sword gun? Kind of like, God, I don't know the name. It's like, God, I should know this. I used to work at Fleet Farm. I used to run the gun counter, but the bolt action rifles, and then there's the snap down ones. Gosh, I don't know, but it kind of looks like that. So maybe it could be a sword gun. You never know. But I doubt it. It seems like if he's gonna be an assassin, it's like gonna be like right in your face. Poke you with my sword, slice you with my sword. But yeah, so it seems like his Rose Offense is, or maybe even his Rose. He throws his Rose or shoots his Rose and lands basic attacks. I don't know. But he lands basic attacks on all enemies. So Tension Bow will hit, and then if you read what Cider Helm kind of gives you down here, he kind of goes over kind of what I'm doing, but I'm giving my own personal thoughts. But he had a really good point here for his ultimate. Say you have a Shiver Steel, and you activate your Shiver Steel because Shiver Steel activates. It slows enemies once you land a basic attack. So say you activate your Shiver Steel, then you use Rose Offense, and all their enemy team is around you, and you're hitting all of them. It'll literally slow their entire team, and then maybe land that with like a Sky Ultimate, or I don't know, anything where it's like hard to land on the group of enemies. I'm trying to think of another one. Maybe Celeste Ult, Vox Ult. It could help. Like those big bursty damages for ults, like it slows all of them, so they're all real close to you. It lands a bunch of basic attacks. So maybe like getting a breaking point sounds pretty sweet, because say you're fighting earlier on, and then you already have 5 stacks of breaking point, and then they're still grouped up. Pop your Shiver Steel or something, use your ultimate, and then your breaking point stacks just keep increasing because they're dealing basic attacks, and then over time they just like, I don't know. I feel as though Rose Offense, and you can use it twice. So maybe if you're tanky enough and you can use it twice and you're at like 20 breaking point stacks, literally just like melts, one slice them, one slice. I don't know. Seems pretty sweet. I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see how that would work. Like, I want to try out some builds with them. Breaking point seems like it might be pretty cool. We don't know how squishy he's gonna be. We don't really know anything about him, but Crystal Power, I mean, it seems like it'll be alright. Like, if you get Crystal Power on point, it seems as though he'll deal a lot of damage, a lot of poke damage, and then Faint of Heart seems like a lot of poke damage as well. Maybe it'll be kind of similar to Taka, where if you go CP Taka, it's really bursty, but it is like consistent damage kind of falls off. So that'll probably be the same for BLACKFEATHER here. I don't know. I honestly think though I'm gonna be trying out a lot of weapon power builds. The tension bow seems like nice because the Faint of Heart proc on it, and then even though it's ultimate too, like breaking point, I think would be good as well. And the one thing I forgot to mention earlier on, like, where was it? So BLACKFEATHER also recovers an additional 10 focus for each basic attack he lands. With that, so it seems like he only has, like, it's capped at 100. We don't know what his abilities will use. Probably his ultimate, maybe use all of it, who knows. But the more basic attacks he lands, the more focus you're getting it back. So it seems like attack speed's probably gonna be good on him, because then you auto attack, get your focus back, use another ability, auto attack, use it again. So attack speed, breaking point seems interesting on him. I don't know, the Shiver Steel idea from Cider Helm that he gave down here, that's gonna be pretty sweet. And then the tension bow, those are all the things I'm going to be excited for. He also mentions like the CP is going to be good for like crowd control and everything like that because of the Roche trail and everything. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Crystal Power might still be good. We have no idea. Just from reading over his abilities right now though, I think weapon power might be the way to go with like getting your focus back. You want those auto attacks, but I guess you could argue that you could go alternating current then if you want to get that attack speed and still go CP, but you never know. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts. I think he's pretty sweet. Let me know what you think of him. Let me know if you like this style of video, because I know you can read it yourself, but like, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to give my opinions, and I really am curious to hear what you guys think. That's why I'm kind of making the video too, because we don't know anything about him, but he looks pretty badass, right? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you did, and over subscribe for more Vainglory videos if not already. Because everyone have a later night, and I'll see you guys later.